Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our Hinsdale Library's virtual chair yoga with Tom Wilkens of Dancing Crane Yoga. We're glad you could join us today. It's a full class. Tom usually goes the full hour, so I want to turn it over to him as soon as possible. I do want to remind you I am recording today's class, and it will be posted on the library's website within the next week or so, and I will make sure that it gets posted. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Tom and enjoy your class.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to more chair yoga. And it's a yoga class. And it has, let's just say, ways in which you can feel better. And through the breath, through movement, and also through foot placement. So one of the things that I think is really important is that when we sit in a chair, and this is how our chairs are designed, we tend to round our back. Well, I don't want us to do that because this is an exercise class, so I would really like it if you could be more to the front and look at your heels. Bring them underneath your knees. It gives the greatest support to your knees when this is happening, and your toes are a little outside. Now, at all points in this class, listen to your body. If something hurts, make an adjustment as slight as possible so that whatever is ailing you no longer does. And then with your heels underneath your knees, you're pressing your heels into the floor by contracting your thighs. And this has an effect on me in getting taller. We're going to start with rocking on our sitting bones. Sitting bones are the edge of each of your pelvises, and there is a bone that juts out. The technical term is ischial tuberosities. You have a left or right ischium. And so you're pushing down, and let's just rock on the sitting bones forward and back. So this is the reason I want you to be to the front of your chair. You're inhaling forward, exhaling back. Keep going. Now, one of the things you might notice as you're doing this is that on a back bend, it's a lot, and that's what bringing the spine forward is. The inhale is easier. On an exhale, when you're rounding your back, well, that forces the air out of the lungs. And the more air you force out of your lungs, the better the next inhalation can be. Put your hands on your knees and lean back. What I mean by leaning is not leaning back as much as rounding the back and lengthen your arms. When I was teaching Saturday in a class about something, one student said, well, have I been doing this badly all these years? And I said, no, you just need to do it more effectively. So the more you learn about yoga and the more you learn how to do something, don't think of it as good or bad. Think of it how effective you are being. So what I like about this is as I exhale, I lengthen the arms, and I also feel this in the shoulder blades. And then I can pull with the arms forward and strengthening the muscles between the shoulder blades and the spine called the rhomboids. And one of the nice things is to start warming up your spine. Try to keep your chin as parallel to the floor. We'll be working with the neck later, but just not right now. Let's do this 3 more times. And then come upright. Now, before we come out of this totally, you have been moving and rocking, but you on your sitting bones, but you have changing your pelvic tilt. So if you would put your hand behind your back, if you come all the way forward, see how rounded the back is? The spine can't support you. If you go all the way back, same thing. Can you come in the center and find a spot where your abdominals can contract? If you were standing, you could get your glutes to contract too, but let's just stick with the abdominals. So we're going to do that again, keeping the abdominals contracted. This helps stabilize and protect your lower back. And try that again. Inhale forward, exhale back, but just not as far. So the movement is a little more now. It's the same movement of the spine, but different emphasis with the abdominals now working. What I'd like for you to now is to stop, inhale, with the abdominals contracted, hold the breath in, forward, back, more rapid. When you want to, exhale, stop, inhale again, hold the breath in, keep the abdominals contracted, and move. And then stop. It doesn't matter how many you do at all, but the more you can hold your breath, the more you're increasing your lung capacity. Let's do this 2 more rounds. Inhale. Hold the breath. Move. Stop when you need to. All the air out. Inhale again. Last time. And then stop. Breathe normally. So much of our fatigue and tiredness is that we're not taking in enough oxygen. And in yoga, there's many different ways to increase your lung capacity, increase your helping your lungs to expand, so that you're filling all your lungs up, all the lobes, all 5 of them. So the more you understand this, the easier it is to adapt and increase your energy by some very simple things. So now we have moved our spine. Notice how that feels. We're going to continue moving the spine. Remember that abdominal contraction? Go back, forward, stop where you feel the abdominals are contracted, come forward to the side, back, and pretend that your spine is a rod. That means your vertebrae are stacked one on top of each other, and you're moving in a circle with the abdominals helping, let's just say, protecting your core. I think you've heard that term before. Then change directions. I'll do this from the side. yoga has many different types of movement because just say over thousands of years, they began to realize if you don't use something, you lose the ability to use. Now come to a stop. So now with your spine, do a figure 8. The sign of infinity, so it's like a lying down figure 8. And then changing directions. And stop in the center. We'll continue with the spine because the spine is the key to all your movement. It is the pole that holds you up. So side to side with your spine, arms to your side. Now just don't have the arms right next to you, but move them out. You want to pretend that there is like tennis balls in your armpit. So you want to create space, maybe let the what's called the humerus, upper arm bone, out a bit, and then side to side. And then come to a stop. Notice how that feels. For me, it feels like different parts of the spine are getting lubricated. And that's what we need as we get older because we begin to dry up. The body has more and more difficulty producing moisture. In this case, from the synovial glands on the joints. And when that happens, the cartilage rubs against each other and we lose cartilage. So that happens in our knees, that happens in the shoulders, and that's why we need replacements. Okay, so now that we've done that, one other thing is bring your feet wider apart. Hands comfortably on your thighs and come forward and down on your exhale. We're unstacking the vertebrae. Inhale, come on up. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Keep going. All right. Come on up. Notice it's harder to keep your abdominals contracted when you're picking yourself up from the back. That's because it's 2 different sets of muscles. If you are doing what we just did and coming up, what's called your erectors have to pull you up. Okay, now bring your elbows onto your thighs. And we're going to do what is called a twist at an angle. So left hand is on your thigh and you're exhaling and twisting. So you're bringing your whole, let's just say your torso, head, looking up at the ceiling, coming down, doing that on the other side. Inhaling in toward the center, exhale to the side. Keep going. Good. Come back to the center and come on up. Still working with the spine. Now we've done a lot of movements with that. And one last part is feet wide again. Elbow, let's have the elbow on the right thigh. Take your left hand behind you and drop the right hand down toward the floor or keep it on your thigh, your choice. And then take that left arm up toward the ceiling. If you want to make this a little more difficult, bring it to the outside. Then come on up. Remember, arm inside or outside or elbow on towards your thigh. Then come on up. Good. Let's work with the shoulders. We're going to come up, stick with the torso, and then go down to the feet and legs. All right, so I'm going to do this sideways. Take your shoulder, bring it forward and up, back and down. So place your awareness right at your shoulder, in this case, the left one, and you're inhaling and making a circle, exhaling down. Notice my elbow is not bending. I'm bringing the elbow forward, circling up toward the ear, coming down. And you need to be aware of your shoulder blade in the back. There's going to be movement with that. If you bend your elbow, you're going to want to not move that part, the shoulder blade. One more time. Good, then reverse that. So you're going the opposite way you went before. And then come to a stop. Just notice how that feels. Let's do the right one. So this arm, fingers are dangling. coming up. Now I'm pushing the head of the humerus up, back, and down. Try not to move my spine or head. Yoga is really big on understanding how the bones operate, how they function, and the importance of rotating your bones in order to move them. And that's the muscles' job. The muscles are attached to the bones. While the bones provide structure, the muscles make it possible for you to move those bones. And notice how far back I'm moving that shoulder. I think you'll find this is a simple movement, but yet it really can work to relax your shoulder and your neck. That's because your neck, what we call the neck, is actually muscles from the shoulder up to what's called the cervical spine, the whole neck area. Let's change directions. One more time. Good. Issue? I was just talking about inward and outward rotation of the arms. So we were rotating our arms out. So if you're bringing the palms forward and out, that's called an outward rotation. If you bring them in, it's an inward rotation. So let's play with that. We're going to do both shoulders at once. Outwardly rotate, pull back, and down. Inhale. Now watch my hands. Exhaling down and bringing the arms back in. Inhale. Exhale. Three more times. All right, one more time. Good. Now, what we've done is outwardly rotate. And we went forward and back. Whichever direction you went, you're going to reverse that and move in the opposite direction. We're lubricating the shoulder joints, and we're also lubricating and moving our shoulder blades. If you bend your elbow, that negates that. And next I want to move the elbows and just have you feel the difference. Two more times. Now let the arms dangle, but bring the elbows out and see how that feels. So much of our hand pain, tension, is because our shoulders are tight. All right, now relax your right arm take your left elbow, inhale it and bring it forward. So notice how that's going. My elbow is going toward the camera. Pick up the elbow. So I'm not straightening out the arm, I'm keeping the arm bent and back. One more. Right elbow. Now for me, I have lost all the cartilage in my right shoulder, so this arm moves very differently. That's the best I can do. I'm trying not to compensate, but that's difficult. So I'm just finding out the range of motion, using my breath, that helps. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Good, now just notice how that feels. This might not seem like a big deal, but for me, for years, I couldn't sleep on my right side, it hurt too much. And I liked sleeping on my right side. And so that was really upsetting to me that it would hurt so much, it would wake me up. So I've been working with trying to loosen that up so the pain isn't there. I feel more circulation, that tingling sensation in my hands is blood coming back and nerve function returning. Okay, so bear with me as we continue to do this. So now, let's see, we did elbow forward, elbow back. And then we're going to put this all together. So I can do a nice circle with this. Good. Now, right one. One more time. Good. Now, this, everyone is going to be really different on this. So, and you'll notice this as I do this, for me, each elbow is going to move differently, but take your thumbs right by your pec tendon and move your elbows in a circle. And this requires your shoulder blades to do some movement. Change directions. Good. Now palms up. Can you feel something tingling in your in your hands? Now this is a nice way to do what we were doing, though doing them separately is fine, a little less time consuming. But the next part is combination of what we did earlier. You're taking both shoulders forward, up, outwardly rotate, bring your hands behind you, exhale forward and down. Now, if you were standing, you would put them behind your glutes. But because the chair's in the way, you can't do that. Now, once the shoulders are up, pull the elbows back from your shoulder blades. And then reverse that, going back. 3 more times. Last one. Good. Hands on your thighs, just see how that feels. Okay, so now you can lean a little bit forward, keep your elbows and forearms on your thighs, and palm up, flap your wrists. As we get older, our body needs more attention, but we have one advantage. We don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. We can learn how to move our bodies intelligently as we get older, which we couldn't do or didn't do younger when we were younger. Palms down. What I mean by that is we have to change how we work with our older body. And we can't do a lot of the things we did before, which is really hard on the joints. Now, circle. Actually, we can do that here this way. And just notice how that feels in the hands. Other way. And then come up with the torso. Taking your fingers and just move them. Take your hands behind your back. Drop your chin down toward the sternum and turn your head in a nice slow circle. Other direction. And once that chin and sternum come together, stop. Lift the chin up and release the arms back to the front. Now, one of the things I was talking about is learning from our experience. Because when you think about it, having a lifetime of experiences is really valuable if we remember what works. Sometimes what worked in the past does not work in the present. So you need to learn a few more things. But for me, what I've learned is the fact, what I'm going to share with you now, is if I bring my chin back, I have a tendency to go forward with it. I push it back. Inhale your head to the left, exhale to the right, keep the chin back. And just keep doing this. Go slow. Don't go fast with anything in your neck. Now stop in the center. There's another part to this. You bring your hands behind you. Put them on your lower back or your kidneys. Chin back. Keep the spine stable so your chest is looking forward. And inhale left. Exhale forward. Stop. With your hands, push your sternum in. So I think doing this from the side would be more helpful. Rounding the top part of the spine. Hands in front, right where your ribs start. Stop. And move your head. Inhale left, exhale right. Stop in the center. Then you just come upright, relax the hands, and see how the neck feels. So as you feel, or I should say, become aware of your body, just observe how that feels to you. If it feels good, remember what you did. Experience. Okay, next part, we're going to go down toward our feet. So, pick up your right heel off the floor. Circle your leg. Notice I'm rolling on my toes. So go slow, and you want to feel all 5 toes. We're starting to lubricate the joints in the feet, which has something like 33 bones, if my memory serves me right. And you're rolling on that. on all those bones. Change directions. So coming here, I'm just assuming that you want to feel better and that you feel a need to move. And moving intelligently equals feeling better. Our bodies were designed to move. They were not at all designed to sit for hours on end. It's really hard on the body. All right, now we're switching legs. Other way. Good. Next, let's lubricate the knees. So the outside, without touching the kneecap, you're slapping. Underneath, again, you're not touching the kneecap. Inside. Top. Now my knees feel much more lubricated. Just see how that feels. Now, if you need to put your hands on the back of your chair, I want you to take one foot out and move your foot. So the outside of my foot is going forward with the toes up, the inside. We don't usually do movement like this unless you're walking on uneven ground barefoot or like walking on sand at a beach. Now bring that knee in, hold on to that knee and circle your foot. Other way. Bring that foot down. Now, other foot. Hold on to the knee and circle that foot. Other way. Now, if you want, you can do this together. If you're sitting in the front of the chair, you can just lean back, pick both feet up, and circle. Other way. Good. Come on back up. Notice how that feels. Now, probably the oldest, or not oldest, as you get older, let me phrase it that way, you lose muscle mass. And I think that's the hardest part of getting older, is it's really hard to hold on to that muscle mass. So habits have to change. One of which is how we sit and how we get out of a chair. And I would like to go through with that for a couple minutes. Now, for a lot of people, getting out of the chair involves coming forward and getting up. I'd like to try something different. So you think a number of how many times you get up and down out of a chair on a daily basis. I'm going to say 50, just picking a number. So have your elbows onto your thighs and pick your toes up. Push your heels into the floor. Notice how that activates your legs. And then pick your glutes off your chair. From here, pushing your heels onto the floor, hands on your thighs, you can come to a standing position. Coming back down onto your chair. Now, if you can't do that or don't want to, that's fine. However, I assume that you would like to work your legs more by pushing your heels into the floor, and this helps strengthen your legs and your bones, your femur bone. Let's do that again. Push elbows onto your thighs. Push your heels into the floor. Lift your glutes up. Then come back down. Now, if you want to go all the way up, push down from the heels to come up. And then come back down. Now, why would that be important? Primarily, no, let's get into that position and then I will tell you how's that. Heels pressing into the floor, come up. The reason this is important is because red blood cells are manufactured in your femurs. And the bigger they are, the more red blood cells you have. You might want to sit back down for some reason. The more red blood cells that is manufactured, the more is put into your bloodstream, the more oxygen is carried from your lungs, the more endurance and vitality that you have. One simple thing, and it has a cascading effect to the rest of your body. So if you don't have a lot of endurance, is it because your legs are weak? If you strengthen your bones, they don't become brittle and break. So there's a lot of reasons to keep up with this body. It might not be getting, let's just say, it's getting older, but it doesn't mean you can't move better, more efficiently. You just got to know how it works. Okay, so last part of this. I want you to scan your body. You have a sternum here, breastplate. Push the breastplate back and try to take a breath. Now, the reason you can't take a deep breath is simply because your head, the weight of your head and rib cage, is resting on your lungs. Your lungs are compressed. Let's bring that sternum forward and notice how that feels. So we're going from this, which, by the way, your spine isn't supporting you anymore, to going forward and up. Now take a breath. Your lungs can increase their lung capacity or take in more oxygen by 80%, all because they can expand. I think that's kind of cool. All right, keeping the chest out. Remember we were talking earlier about the abdominals contracting? Rock forward and back until you feel your abdominals can contract and your chin is coming back. Relax your eyelids down. Noticing how that feels. Okay. There's the final part of this. It's what's called a pranayama. And pranayams affect the nervous system by how you breathe. So in so many ways, we're taught that our breathing is automatic. It's both. It is voluntary and automatic. And your breathing pattern basically manages your nervous system. Without going into a lot of stuff, which we could be here for a while, just accept that. And you're inhaling, exhaling. Pick up one hand, cover your right nostril, inhale and exhale out your left nostril. Through your mouth if that nostril is closed or clogged. Let's do that on the right nostril. You're covered the left. Switch. All right, we're switching to the right nostril. One more time. Or around. Inhale nice and deep. Do both nostrils. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now stay up, relax the eyelids down, and just notice how that feels. Let the breath breathe itself. Following the breath, all the way to the lungs are emptied. Then watch what will happen. The lungs will fill up all by themselves. Follow that. Follow the emptying of the lungs, and you keep that cycle going. Now rub your hands together. And with your palms, cover your eye sockets. Open your eyes and slowly move your hands away. Good. Now, if anyone has any questions or comments, now's the time.
So if there are no specific questions, I just want to remind everyone our next virtual chair yoga class with Tom is going to be in September. It is Monday, September 18th at 11 o'clock again. You can sign up for that on our website. Tom, we're getting a lot of thank yous and loving the class. So thank you so much. Again, Tom is with Dancing Cranes Yoga, and if you want more of the chair yoga, they offer classes, and you're welcome to sign up, outside of the library classes as well.
Please do. We would love to have you.
Thank you. And thank you, Tom, so much. We will see you Monday, the 18th of September.
Okay.
All
See you
right.
then. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.